Okay, so we all know the feeling, right? That morning Starbucks run. You know, that afternoon caffeine boost. Or even, maybe you're pulling an all-nighter.
Yeah.
Fueled by iced coffee and that unmistakable Starbucks background buzz.
It's a vibe for sure.
But what happens when that routine, that ritual gets kind of shaken up a little?
Right.
Well, that's what we're diving into today. And Starbucks in North America has rolled out a new code of conduct.
Yes, they have.
And this is a big deal. This is going to change how a lot of us use their spaces.
Yeah, this is a pretty big shift, especially when you think about how Starbucks has, built their brand over the years.
Right.
It's like, remember that whole third place thing they were pushing?
Oh, totally. Yeah, like not quite work.
Yeah, not home, not work.
But that in-between spot.
Yeah, where you can just chill or get some work done or connect with people.
Right. They basically like invented that whole laptop and latte work session thing.
Exactly.
But this new policy, well, it kind of throws a wrench into that third place idea, don't you think?
I think so, for sure.
Because the big thing is now you actually have to buy something if you want to hang out.
You got it. No more like just sitting there with a free refill
Right.
or like nursing a single cup of coffee for like 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to use their space, you gotta make a purchase.
Wow. Okay, so no more squatters' rights at Starbucks.
Apparently not, no.
I'm curious about this though. Is this like a North America only kind of thing?
Well, as far as we can tell from what we've seen, it seems like it's North America for now.
Okay.
But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this expanded, later to other places.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's get into the specifics here.
Hmm.
What does this actually mean for the average Starbucks customer? I just got to run in to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Do I have to buy like a cookie or something just to do that?
Yep. That's exactly what it means.
Really?
You got to be a paying customer to use their facilities.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I get it. They're a business
Yeah.
and they want to, prioritize people who are spending money there. But I can't help but think about, there are people out there who might not be able to afford to buy something every time.
Yeah.
They need to sit down for a few minutes or use the restroom. Is this kind of making public spaces less accessible in a way?
That's a really good point, and it's definitely something to keep in mind as we see how this all plays out. Like, we really need to see what happens in practice. See if there are any unintended consequences.
Well, speaking of consequences, I can already picture the lines getting even longer, especially, during those rush hours.
Oh, for sure.
And are we going to start seeing people just buying like the cheapest thing on the menu just so they can snag a table?
Right.
It'll be interesting to see, how people kind of adapt to this.
Yeah, definitely. And beyond just, this whole purchase requirement, there are other changes they made to the code of conduct.
Right.
Some of them are pretty standard, like no harassment, no threats, no violence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those should be a given anywhere, right?
Exactly. Like, come on.
But some of the others are maybe a little more targeted.
Yeah, they banned smoking and vaping inside, which is becoming more and more common.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can't bring in alcohol from somewhere else. You can't drink it in there.
Right. Makes sense.
But here's a really interesting one.
Okay.
No panhandling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is that like a big issue at Starbucks, or are they just trying to like prevent something before it even starts?
It's tough to say really without more information,
Right.
But I think it could be about creating a certain kind of atmosphere for their paying customers.
Right.
Like making sure everybody feels comfortable and safe.
Yeah.
And it also kind of goes back to that whole accessibility thing.
It's almost like they're trying to like redefine what it means to be a third place,
Exactly.
but like a more controlled, maybe less spontaneous version.
Yeah, totally. And it raises some really interesting questions, like about how we use these shared spaces, these public spaces,
Right.
and who gets to make the rules.
So what do you think? What does all this mean for the future of Starbucks? And maybe even public spaces in general?
Oh, man. That's a big question. Well, I think it's way too early to say for sure.
Yeah.
We need to see how these changes actually play out in the real world.
Right.
Like, will this actually make the Starbucks experience better for everyone?
Right.
Will it actually create a calmer, more secure environment? Or is it just going to lead to like unintended consequences and
Yeah.
people getting upset?
Yeah, and what about the bigger picture? I mean, is this a sign of things to come for other businesses and other public spaces? Like, is this the start of a trend toward more controlled environments?
That's a fascinating thought, isn't it? I mean, it makes you really think about how public spaces are changing
Yeah.
and how we all figure out how to act in them.
It really does. So next time you're at Starbucks, take a look around. really take it all in, see how people are, reacting to these new rules, and ask yourself, is this the Starbucks experience you want? Let us know what you think.